Welcome, everyone, to a brand new, incredibly special deep dive into the fascinating, high-stakes world of professional tennis. Today, we are unpacking a storyline that has the entire tennis community absolutely captivated. We are looking at a battle that is not taking place face-to-face across a single tennis net, but rather, it is a thrilling, remote proxy war playing out on the global rankings board, across continents, and on the grueling red dirt of the WTA Tour. This is a story of two phenomenal athletes, walking entirely different paths, but locked onto the exact same target. We are talking about the sensational rising star from the Philippines, Alexandra Eala, and the history-making Grand Slam champion from Great Britain, Emma Raducanu. Their target? The upcoming, prestigious French Open at Roland Garros. Now, to truly understand the gravity of the situation, we have to look past the surface-level headlines. In the tennis world, the conversation surrounding these two incredible women has fundamentally shifted. We are no longer discussing whether they have the capability or the ranking to simply enter the main draw in Paris. That foundational goal, that basic entry ticket, has already been secured, especially for Alex Eala, whose recent surge has guaranteed her spot among the elite. The real fight, the absolute bitter struggle that is currently unfolding as we approach the final stretch of the clay court season, is the desperate race for entry into the top 32. For those who might not obsess over the intricate mathematics of tennis rankings, let me explain why the top 32 is the holy grail of a Grand Slam tournament. Being a seeded player, landing in that top 32 bracket, grants you an absolutely massive, career-altering advantage. When you are seeded, the tournament draw is structured to protect you. It ensures that you cannot possibly face another top 32 player in the first two rounds of the tournament. It provides a crucial buffer, a runway to find your rhythm, test your footing on Parisian clay, and build momentum before the truly titanic clashes of the second week. But if you fall short, if you land at number 33 or 40 or 50 in the world, you are unseeded. And the punishment for being unseeded is severe. You are entirely at the mercy of the draw. You could walk out for your very first match on court Philippe Chatrier and find yourself staring down the world number one, facing the absolute toughest fight imaginable right out of the gate. And as the official ranking cutoff date for Roland Garros looms closer, the discussion about who will rise, who will secure that vital seeding, and who will be left vulnerable in the open draw, is heating up to a boiling point. The current landscape presents a brilliant, stark contrast in trajectories. On one side, you have Alexandra Eala. She is a player riding a massive wave of upward momentum. She is actively playing week in and week out, putting her body on the line, grinding through the tour, and relentlessly chasing down every single available ranking point. She is a picture of continuous, forward motion. On the flip side of this fascinating coin is Emma Raducanu, a player whose undeniable talent shocked the world, but who is currently faced with the agonizing challenge of inconsistency. Her journey recently has been marred by frustrating health issues, rehabilitation, and a severe lack of match play. And the brutal truth of professional tennis is that raw talent, no matter how extraordinary, is simply not enough if you are not physically present and consistently competing on the tour. The WTA ranking system is entirely unforgiving. It does not reward past glory or hypothetical ability. It strictly rewards the consistency of your participation and the reliable excellence of your performance over a rolling 12-month period. This is exactly where Alexandra Eala holds a distinct, powerful advantage, particularly as we navigate the treacherous waters of the European clay court season. Clay is a surface that demands absolute rhythm. It requires a continuous, unbroken connection to the geometry of the court and the physics of the sliding movement. While Raducanu is currently in a phase of constant adjustment, trying to recover her health and rediscover her peak timing, Alex Eala is out there in the trenches, continuously building her momentum, layering confidence upon confidence with every single tournament she enters. All of these factors, all of this preparation, all of the ranking mathematics, and all of this building pressure are about to come colliding together on one critical, decisive stage, the Italian Open in Rome. The Italian Open is not just another tournament. It is a final, grand theater before the curtain rises in Paris. It represents the absolute last major opportunity to hoard ranking points before the Roland Garros cutoff. Rome is where the seeding fate of both Alex Eala and Emma Raducanu will ultimately be decided. So, Let's transition now into a profound, comprehensive deep dive into the specific mechanics of this battle, the tactical realities of the clay court, and what each player must do to seize their destiny at the Italian Open. When we look at the monumental task ahead for Alexandra Eala in Rome, the mandate is incredibly clear. She needs a deep, sustaining run. We are not talking about a simple first-round win or capitalizing on a lucky draw. To secure that top 32 seeding, to leap over final hurdles of the rankings, she must deliver a consistently brilliant performance against top-tier, battle-hardened opponents. She needs to accumulate a massive haul of points, and she can only do that by surviving the brutal, physical chess matches that define the latter stages of a WTA 1000 event. But Alex is uniquely positioned to achieve this. Her relationship with the clay court, her deeply ingrained training discipline, and her remarkable adaptability to different match situations give her a very real, tangible chance to succeed in this hostile environment. She understands the dirt. She understands that clay is not a surface you can simply overpower. It is a surface you must outsmart and outlast. Conversely, the situation for Emma Raducanu is entirely dependent on a race against her own biology. Her seeding hopes rely entirely on her ability to miraculously return to her absolute peak physical and tennis condition in an incredibly compressed time frame. If she cannot find her form instantly, if she cannot perform right on time when the first ball is tossed in Rome, she will find herself in dire trouble in this seeding race. Ultimately, this fight between Eala and Raducanu is not merely a clinical mathematical exercise about ranking points. It is a fundamental battle of timing. In the ruthless world of professional tennis, the most important metric is not just how good you are, but exactly when you are in your best form. And for right now, in this very moment, the momentum has swung decidedly onto the side of Alexandra Eala. To truly understand the depth of the situation, we must analyze the battle for French Open seeding through three distinct, critical lenses. It is a complex combination of the form curve, surface-specific adaptation, and the sheer ability to make the right decisions under suffocating pressure. These are the hidden, intangible factors that almost always decide who will rise to the occasion during the crucial, final stretch of the grueling clay season. Let's explore the first crucial aspect, the form curve or the performance trajectory. In the sport of tennis, progression and improvement are almost never a straight, linear upward line. It is a sport of extreme peaks and deep valleys. There are phases in a player's season where they are in perfect rhythm, where the ball looks the size of grapefruit, where their footwork feels effortless, and where they can anticipate their opponent's shots before the ball even crosses the net. And then there are phases where a player simply loses their timing, where the racket feels heavy, and every point is an agonizing struggle. Right now, Alexandra Eala is riding a magnificent upward trend. Her match play is regular. Her tournament schedule is continuous. She has undergone rigorous, focused training, and she possesses a crystal-clear direction regarding her clay court preparation. This unbroken consistency is paramount when entering a vital lead-up tournament like the Italian Open. She knows exactly how her body will react to a 3-hour marathon because she has been living those marathons. Emma Raducanu, through no fault of her own, finds herself trapped in a recovery phase. Even though her ultimate potential, her ceiling as a proven Grand Slam champion, is astronomically high, her severe lack of recent match exposure places her at a staggering disadvantage. At the elite level of high-stakes tennis, even the most microscopic gap in your rhythm, a fraction of a second delay in your reaction time, can result in a devastating early exit. You cannot replicate the tension of a live match in practice, and Emma is starved of that live-fire experience. This brings us to the second and perhaps most vital aspect of this deep dive, surface-specific adaptation. The red clay of Europe is notoriously unforgiving. It is a living, breathing surface that actively punishes players who lack fluid movement and extreme patience. You cannot simply hit through a heavy clay court. The surface slows the ball down. It makes the ball bounce higher, and it constantly demands that you hit an extra shot, and then another, and then another. Success on clay requires a masterful blend of controlled aggression and flawless, sliding footwork. Here, Alexandra Eala holds a profound advantage. Having spent formative years training in a heavy clay court environment, she understands the micro-adjustments required to thrive in these conditions. Her game is deeply anchored in consistency and incredible rally tolerance. She does not panic when a rally extends past 10 or 15 shots. These are the exact qualities that are mandatory for survival on clay. Emma Raducanu, while technically brilliant and sound in her mechanics, is historically far more comfortable on faster surfaces like hard courts and grass, where flat, aggressive ball striking pays immediate dividends. On clay, her natural instinct to end points quickly can lead to a high volume of unforced errors. If she cannot immediately adjust her tactical mindset to embrace the grind, to accept that she must build points slowly rather than hit immediate winners, it will be incredibly difficult for her to produce the deep, sustained tournament results she desperately needs to secure her seeding. The third and final aspect we must analyze is decision-making in pressure moments. In a massive tournament like the Italian Open, where literally every single match has major, direct effect on the global rankings and Roland Garros seedings, the atmosphere is electric with tension. The ability to execute your game plan on the crucial points, the break points, the tie breaks, the sudden momentum swings, is what separates the good from the great. This is the ultimate measure of a player's maturity and mental fortitude. When the heart rate is pushing 180 beats per minute, when your lungs are burning and the crowd is screaming, can you make the right tactical choice? Alexandra Eala, in her recent trajectory and string of matches, has continuously demonstrated a highly composed, remarkably mature approach to these exact situations. She is learning how to win ugly when necessary, and how to lock down her mind when the stakes are highest. Emma Raducanu has obviously proven she has the experience on the sport's biggest stages. You do not win a U.S. Open without immense mental strength. However, the challenge for her now is that she must entirely relocate and rebuild that competitive edge, that killer instinct, after spending so much time away from the intense heat of competition. Finding that mental sharpness without the benefit of consistent match play is one of the hardest things to do in professional sports. As we step back and look at the magnificent tapestry of this rivalry, we realize that the story remains thrillingly open. The beauty and the terror of tennis is that because there is only one tournament left to decide this, the Italian Open, absolutely everything can change in the blink of an eye. If Alexandra Eala can manage to successfully convert all of her meticulous preparation, her grueling training blocks, and her recent momentum into a tangible, deep result in Rome, she is poised to secure one of the absolute most important breakthroughs of her entire young career. And we must recognize the immense gravity of what that means. If she achieves this top 32 seeding, it will no longer just be a magnificent personal victory. It will be a monumental, historic step forward for Philippine tennis on the world's absolute biggest stage. It will be a testament to a nation's growing footprint in a highly exclusive, globally dominant sport. It will inspire an entire generation of young athletes watching her smash through ceilings that were previously thought impenetrable. On the other hand, we can never, ever count out a champion of Emma Raducanu's caliber. If she can somehow defy the odds, push through the physical rust, find her footing on the Roman clay, and string together a series of vintage performances, it would be one of the most spectacular, defiant comeback statements of the season. It would prove that pure, unadulterated talent, when mixed with champion's grit, can overcome the strictest of ranking mathematics. The battle for seeding at the French Open between these two remarkable women is the absolute pinnacle of sporting drama. It is a clash of trajectories, the rising tide against a recovering champion. It is a test of bodies, a test of minds, and a test of pure willpower against the sliding red dirt. As we count down the days to the Italian Open, the tension is palpable. Every single practice session, every forehand drill, every moment of physical therapy is geared toward this singular, looming cutoff date. The rankings board is constantly refreshing, constantly calculating the fate of these players. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredibly extensive, deep dive into one of the most fascinating proxy wars the WTA Tour has seen in years. The implications of what happens in Rome will echo all the way through the corridors of Roland Garros and beyond. We will be watching every single point, every single slide, and every single momentum shift as Alexandra Eala and Emma Raducanu fight, not just for numbers next to their names, but for the ultimate right to dictate their own destiny on the grandest stage in clay court tennis. Make sure you stay tuned. Keep your eyes on the courts in Rome and witness firsthand how this incredible chapter of tennis history unfolds.